Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to Live from the Wrist. Hope you guys are doing well today. We're going to be talking about another MB&F piece. This is the LM2 Legacy Machine number 2. This is the second watch in the line of legacy machines that were created by the brand MB&F with Max Büsser at the helm. And this time we saw a dial that had two flying balance wheels hovering over the dial, as opposed to what you saw in the LM1, which was one single balance wheel that was flying over the dial. This watch pays tribute to watchmakers of the past and has a really cool complication, or has a really cool movement that is allowing for this tribute to be made. It also is paying homage in some way to a modern watchmaker who is arguably one of the best watchmakers, or most well-known independent watchmakers of this era. So what we're going to be doing is giving you some information about the LM2, talking you through its history, what types of watches were produced, and the complication that it features. If you are looking for a video where someone has an LM2 to show you and you kind of can see it in the middle, this is not the video for you, but what I'll be doing is putting up some videos and pictures over this video so that you can see the watch while I talk through its history and the watch itself. So the LM2 is, like I said, the second watch in the legacy machine line of watches, and is an extremely important watch when it comes to sort of the history of MB&F. This watch was launched in 2013 and features two flying balance wheels and a differential in the middle of the dial. Before I go into the specific piece, I actually want to talk about sort of the inspiration behind this piece. So there were three watchmakers who all experimented with a similar way of overcoming a problem that they were finding with their watches. During the era that these watchmakers were around, a huge problem with the watches of that era was the oils that were used and the low quality of the oils that were used. It caused irregularity in the watches. So Abraham-Louis Breguet, Ferdinand Berthoud, and Antide Janvier, they all created watches or experimented with watches that featured two balance wheels and a differential that evened out the two regulators to try and overcome this problem. And so that's sort of like the historical part of the 18th century, mid 18th century, that Max Büsser kind of took for this specific watch. One of the stories that he also notes about that legacy machine number 2 was the hugely influential watch that the Philippe Dufour Duality was in the creation of this watch. If you don't know, the Philippe Dufour Duality is a watch that also has two flying balance wheels. Instead of having them on top of the dial, obviously Philippe Dufour has it inside of the movement, so when you turn the watch over and you look at the movement, you're able to actually see them. And Max cites a story where he was having a dinner with a collector, and he saw this watch and really was just so taken aback and was so impressed with it. And so what he ended up doing was basically creating the LM2, which featured this specific complication. So the watch itself is 44 millimeters in diameter, a large piece. Obviously, this is MB&F we're talking about here. In order to fit these really interesting complications, that's kind of what you should expect. Large dial, or large case. There's the same two watchmakers that were used in the used to create the LM1 were also part of the production of the LM2. Jean-François Mojon and Kari Voutilainen were both individuals who worked on this specific piece. It's a manual wind, single mainspring movement, and has, like I said, two bespoke 11 millimeter flying balance wheels that are on the top of the watch. If you look where 6 o'clock typically is on the dial, you will see the differential that is evening out these two balance wheels. The complications that you see on this watch, if you look at the actual dial, is only the hours and minutes hand, but like you know with MB&F, these are horological pieces of art, not really these timepiece, these very incredible complications and all that. There are some watches that have that, but not this one. The differential that is used was a planetary differential that uses to balance the beat of both of those mainsprings that are flying on top of it. And obviously when you turn it over, you can see this absolutely incredible movement finishing that is obviously hand done in 19th century style, with polishing and Geneva waves and hand engravings. That's pretty incredible. It's a steel-looking, steel color case, and then you can see some of the gears have sort of a gold hue to it. This watch came in a couple variations. There was an 18-karat gold version with a silver dial. There was a 18-karat white gold version with sort of a dark gray dial. There is a platinum version of this watch. There were only 18 pieces created in platinum with a blue dial. And then there were some later versions that were released. There's a 18-karat red gold with a blue dial that was produced in only 12 pieces were produced. There's an 18-karat white gold version with a purple dial. 12 pieces were created of that. And then there's the titanium version. Only 18 pieces were created with that, and it's sort of got that sort of greenish blue turquoise color to that watch. And so you have this really busy dial in front of you. There's a lot of moving parts that you're able to see when you're just looking at it on your wrist, which I think makes this watch quite interesting to own and have on the wrist. Obviously it's a big watch, it's going to have a big presence, but the fact that there's a lot of moving parts that you're able to sort of interact with as you wear this, I think is another cool sort of feature. There's one crown at sort of 2 o'clock that allows you to change the time. But like I said, the timekeeping aspect of this watch really isn't the big part. I think the big part is the fact that you have two huge flying balance wheels and an escapement that sort of evens out the two balance wheels. And one of the things that Max mentions about the watch is it doesn't have so much to do with accuracy, but more of consistency. So obviously watches maintain time at different paces, and one of the big things that watchmakers tried to do was to try and have the errors in the timekeeping of a specific watch to be as consistent as possible. So a lot of the times you hear plus minus 2 seconds, plus minus 5 seconds. That is the timekeeping accuracy that this problem was trying to solve. It was trying to have the inconsistencies in timekeeping be as consistent as possible, so you don't have something like plus 30 and then plus 5 and then plus 6 and then minus 45. It allows for it to be a lot more consistent, and that's what this watch was, I guess, paying homage to the watchmakers who were trying to solve that specific problem. If I was to decide if I wanted an LM2 or an LM1, I would still go with an LM1. I love the fact that it was the beginning of something amazing. You know, it was the watch that really made me fall in love with legacy machines from MB&F. This watch is still an incredible watch. In my opinion, really doesn't matter. This is an incredible watch. Such a cool complication. I was mesmerized by the fact that I could see one flying balance wheel, but the fact that there are two and they oscillate at different rates, I think that's even cooler, because you see them moving at different rhythms, and then it really creates an interesting sort of dial to be able to look at. So I would still go with the LM1, but LM2 is so cool. I've gone over all of the horological machines that have been produced by MB&F so far. We also did a video for the 10th anniversary of the Legacy Machine line where we talked about every single piece in the Legacy Machine line, but I'm going to be doing these in-depth videos so you can see a dedicated video for each of the Legacy machines. It is a very interesting line of watches, so I encourage you to check out our MB&F playlist where we have all of our coverage of the MB&F watches. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about the Legacy Machine number 2. I'd love to hear your thoughts. It's a different watch. MB&F watches are divisive, but I think they're really cool. So I encourage you to check those out. Check them out and let me know in the comments what you think about the LM2. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you like videos about watches, that's exactly what we do here. And we have corresponding articles in our editorial section of our website for each one of our videos, so be sure to check out our website. There's a link in the description of this video if you want to check that out. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button for us, it really does help us out with our YouTube analytics. And with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.